Okay, so let's take a look at how you can import and export SQL file within Microsoft SQL Server Studio, right? So when you open your SQL Server Management Studio, you will find that it will show you your database. Now, if you want to import any SQL file, what you should do is you will select the database, then issue a new query. Now here you see everything we have is blank because we have to put the query here. Now if you have any SQL file, make sure to open that within some code editor to check if everything is correct, right? So first we are going to create a table which is user jobs, which contains ID, first name, last name, job title, skill and city. So these fields will be part of our table, and then data of 100 rows, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to simply drop this file into our query editor. So if you drop this, it will automatically put all the content into query editor, right? Now if we execute this, it should create user jobs inside this testdb database, right? So let's execute, and as you can see, it will show you query executed successfully, and at the end of the results, completion time is also shown. The rows affected are also shown. So let's open new tab. Here what we will do is we will try to see whether it has created the table. We'll refresh this, go for tables, and as you can see, it has created our table user jobs, right? So let me close these previous queries and right click on our newly created table and select top 1000 rows. And as you can see, this query should show you the data that you just uploaded using SQL file, and it will show you ID, first name, last name, job title, skill, city, right? So all the 100 rows should be there, and as you can see, they are. So this is how you import SQL data using a SQL file into Microsoft SQL Server, and that too by using SQL Server Management Studio. Now next thing is, let's take a look at how you can export your database into a SQL file. If you want to choose specific table, you can also do the same. So right click on your database, then choose tasks, and then click on generate scripts. Now it should show you this wizard, right? So it will tell you that select database objects, then specify scripting options, review selection, and generate the scripts. Now click on next. It will go through your database. Here you can choose specific database objects. So if there are any store procedure, as you can see, I do have two. If you want specific tables to be imported, you can do the same, or instead of going through manually, select everything. Click next. Now you can save this as a notebook or save as a script, right? And here you can specify the path. So let's see, if I want it on desktop, I can say, let's see, testdb.sql. Save it. Now overwrite any existing file if you want to, if there is any on this particular path, right? You can also save this as a clipboard script, or in a new query window you can open that, right? So I'm just going to save this as a new SQL file. So make sure to click next, then again you have to click next, right? Now click on finish, right? So now let's see if that particular script is created. As you can see, testdb SQL is created. Now we can open it in Visual Studio Code, and here you see it has created the database script, then also scripts for our tables, right? And it has also saved the location from which it can fetch the data for this particular database. So now next time you wish to import and export the SQL file and its respective data, you can use these two methods. Now let's take a look at how you can use Azure Data Studio to import the SQL data into your database. So go to Tools in SQL Server Management Studio, click on Azure Data Studio. Now it should open something like this. Now here click on New Connection, choose your connection, then go for authentication details and connect. Now here on left hand side you have list of databases. Now here you see my databases containing the tables. Now if I want to add some SQL data, what I will do is click on New Query. Now within this query tab I can simply drop down my SQL file, and as you can see it contains create table query as well as insert queries that's showing total 100 values. Now I already have the database with similar name, so firing this query would generate an error. So you get the idea how to basically use SQL file through Azure Data Studio to import your new table and its respective data. Okay, so let's take a look at how you can get JSON output from your SQL query. So basically, let's say if I have multiple set of tables and if I choose to go for script table option, so when you right click on any table, then go for script table, then select to, and then new query window. Now here you see your query is like this, right? It shows all the columns and from your database, right? So the thing is, when you execute this, it should show you your SQL data. Now if you want to have JSON output, in the next line simply type in for, then space, then JSON, and then auto. If you add this particular statement and then execute it, you will find that your result set has changed and it shows JSON output with a specific ID, and within the first row you will find that it shows entire output of your table in a single row of XML file that shows your JSON data. So this is pretty much how you call for JSON output in your SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so let's take a look at how you can export SQL Server data into JSON. Now if you log into your SQL Server Management Studio, where you can find within Tools menu you have Azure Data Studio. Click on that. It should open instance of Visual Studio Code like application. Depending on your RAM, it would take some time to load this application. Now here you can see there is an option for new connection, right? Click on that. Now here you have to choose your server. So here you can see I already have one connection, and let's see, I type the name, right? Then you have authentication type, Windows authentication. Then you can leave the database and server group blank and simply connect. That should connect one instance to your SQL Server database. Here you can see your database size and log is displayed, and on the top you see new query, new notebook, and few other options. So here on the left hand side you can see databases. Now choose the database where you have your table. Then let's say if I want to make use of this particular table named medic, and here when you right click on it you can choose select top 1000, and that script should run and show you the result in spreadsheet like form, right? And you see your results will be displayed here, and on the right hand side save as JSON, click on that and go for desktop, then choose, let's say, demo JSON or simply name demo medic, and it gets saved, and immediately on the next tab it will open that data in JSON format. As you can see, it has all the entries that you just queried from your last select query. So this is how you export your SQL Server data to JSON.